Hi. Welcome back to Berg Mountain Optional University's course on #How to Run for President 2, U.S. Political Structure, where in this session we cover the 2nd Amendment to the Constitution. In this amendment, those elected prior to assuming office must first, if in a national election, secure residence in Washington, D.C. Prior to this amendment, the President assumed office as the Senate convened on March 4, but proper preparation for the Senate was required as well as the fiscal year beginning in January. The President taking his oath of office January 20 demands all his faculties in place to achieve as close to a new social society as we can as Americans.
Chapter XX, Week 6. Elected officers move-in day. Until this point, March marked the beginning of the new year, as hibernation during the winter months would bring new growth and life in the spring. As proper preparation prevents poor promotion, the earlier one begins preparing for tomorrow. Today is the better off we all will be. In time, on time, except for a little ahead of time, which is always better time, becomes the saying lived by. As we are set to encompass all that we have, governance becomes a constant reminder to the consciousness of the people ruled. Sooner rather than later it would be beneficial to begin the year in January, so we'll have more time to prepare like flowers to blossom in the spring. By March we want to be completely prepared to take on the rest of the year, not just positioning the desk in a way such so that it receives the best light from the sun through the partial shade from a magnolia tree outside the window. How should the head of the democratic world enter, command and direct the masses other than with its body? The mind controls the body, and the body envelops the mind, protecting the head where the mind resides. The commander is not at the vanguard of the assault, but takes the field once the battle is won. The commander is not concerned with the booty from the war, but land won for taxation purposes. We are the masters of our fate. We are the captains of our souls. So, every 4th year for all that year we wait on the first Tuesday of November, then a late December trunk party, and lastly representatives, senators, and the president are to take up their residences in the capital, respectively.
First of all, the first Tuesday in November is the only thing that matters every 4th year, where 2024 is the latest. If we don't win that day, we won't have security clearance to move in the following year. The neighborhood is pretty strict, and they just don't let anyone in as there are no vacancies. Every square foot is reserved for us as we raise funds for the campaign, spend campaign funds in an appropriate manner, and win the election in November. The campaign stops for no one once it starts, unless the candidate bows out. The candidate can't allow those under his/her umbrella to starve, so there should be a constant supply chain, and it needs to be funded. There is a package deal which comes along with general admission, which comes along with a hat, a pen, and a poster for only $19.98, plus tax and $3 shipping and handling. You can enroll in our courses #How to Run for President and #Biological Machines, or you can choose from a wide array of products and services we offer. Funding the campaign, our strategy ensures the campaign's self-sufficiency where extra effort demands additional revenue. There is a small park where for $100 per brick your name will be engraved and displayed with others on a walking path. Fish plates are sold on Fridays, but anyway it takes money to make money and fund a campaign. With the campaign ending the first Tuesday in November, we should be placing funds in reserve for a climax after Halloween, so that we will win the election.
After we win the election, we will have to have a late December trunk party to get us ready to assume our positions in the Capitol. Whatever are we to bring to a place that has everything anyone could want? Fully furnished and with the refrigerator and pantry stocked, the only thing we will need is to go to work, go home and go to sleep to do it all over again the next day. Held hostage by our work, we will need our spouses and posterity to keep us company, as our public service may not make as much money, but the work is much more essential. The purpose of being in the Capitol is also to promote the family structure we call American, so with our families we also need a family pet to further soften our family structure and add another character to the new place we will soon call home. Besides the clothes on our backs and a change of underwear, a minimal amount of trinkets, knickknacks, and memorabilia should be sufficient. Since Congress must convene on the 3rd of January, so too must representative staff move in by that date. We will be expected to be at work that morning, home that evening, sleep that night and back to work the next day, so on and so forth. Representatives and senators are the president's elected staff, but the elected staff has their own selected staff who have to be in place long before the 3rd of January. Senators and representatives who win at the polls choose from those in their respective campaigns to fill positions in the Capitol, as would be expected, because we can't ask people we don't know to work for us. The campaign has all types of positions that only better prepare citizens for work under the senator or representative. The selected staff start early preparing the Capitol for the ones who won the elections, and the senators and representatives act as those selected by them for their offices for the president. So, the selected staff move in first to prepare, then senators and representatives move in to assume their positions on the 3rd of January, showing up at work on that day by 9 a.m. and finally the president. On the 20th of January the president will take office surrounded by selected staff, elected senators, and representatives and his/her cabinet.
As the fiscal year previously began in March, we now see it best to begin 2 months prior in January. Our administration needs all the time it can get to make the future even brighter for all those under our auspices. We can't wait for others to wake from their hibernation, as we hadn't slept since election day and probably won't sleep for another 4 years. So, sending operatives to the federal district immediately following the election, we host a late December truck party in our respective states to better prepare us for life away from home. We won't really need much other than a toothbrush, some underwear, and some encouraging words, because everything else we can obtain there except the encouraging words is in the district. It's a dog-eat-dog world of political bloodhounds. With representatives moving in on the 3rd of January, the president comes the 20th.
That's all the information we have for you at this time. Feel free to reread this section for more clarification. There are also other resources at the embassy to help you in the event that you may need it. Next session we cover the 21st Amendment, which corrected the will of the people to afford the production, distribution, and consumption of alcohol. Be safe until next time. Thank you for your time and consideration.